Hi guys, I'm Ivory, and today's video I'm going to be talking about my favorite and not so favorite makeup products. Whenever I use a product, I go through it for a couple months, and because I use products for long periods of time, I'm not able to do monthly favorite videos because it would just be the same favorites for several months. So the best I can do is my current favorite makeup products. And like I said, I am also going to list a couple things that I did not like. And also at the end, I am throwing in a couple of non-makeup related products just because I am excited about them, but I don't have enough products to make a dedicated non-beauty related video. So I'm just going to throw them in as well. I have a lot of products to go through, so I'm going to try and do this in categories. So the first one is going to be skincare. The first product is the Ordinary AHA and BHA peeling solution. Whenever my skin is looking especially bad, like I'm breaking out a ton, this is when I apply this. I usually apply this the day before I know that I'm going to film so that my skin is a little bit better the next day. Because this is so strong, they only recommend you use this at max 2 times a week. I usually only use this 1 time a week, but I really look forward to the days that I'm going to put this on. Like I schedule it because I get so excited about using this. As soon as I wipe it off, my skin just feels so much better, and the acne that I had the next day, it dies down by a ton, or any acne that is still rising, it brings it up to the surface. So it almost speeds up the acne process, you know, from the time that it starts developing to the time it actually dies down. It speeds that along for me. I will say you have to be careful with this. Apply this to dry skin and do not apply it over open acne. The first time I used this, I made the mistake of I took off my makeup, and you know when you cleanse your makeup, some of your acne becomes open, it starts like bleeding and it's open. I put this on top of it thinking, you know, I just washed my face, this will be the next step. Huge mistake. My acne stung so much. So when you take off your makeup and you cleanse your face, if you have open acne, wait like an hour or so because it'll sting way less. But I will tell you that it does sting a little bit. I have gotten used to it. Thankfully, you only have to wear it for 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is all you need because this really makes a difference. You know, with skincare, usually it takes a couple months for me to notice a difference, but this is one of the very rare few times that I actually notice a difference right away. Highly recommend. Obviously, it's in this video. The next product is the Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm. This is amazing for removing your makeup. It comes with a little spatula, and this is the balm. You can see I went through quite a bit of it. It has the most pleasant smell. It's a little bit minty. It's very soothing to me. I love minty smells. I was looking for a product just like the Clinique Take Off the Day Balm, but you know Clinique is not cruelty free. So I went to Sephora and I asked the lady if there was a cruelty version of that, and she recommended this one. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I'm almost upset that I like it so much because I hate when I like high-end products because it just makes my skincare routine that much more expensive. But I do. I love this. I love the smell of this. This does an amazing job. And my favorite part about this is the balm doesn't feel oily when you remove it. You know, sometimes certain balms, or even I'm thinking about the One Size spray, the one by Patrick Starr, that took off my makeup great, but the oily residue that was left over, I was forced to cleanse to remove it. And I feel like I used up more cleanser trying to get rid of that oily residue. Whereas this one, it feels oily at first, but when you remove it with makeup, you will not need another cleanser after this one. This will make your skin feel nice and fresh. It's not going to leave any oily residue. You don't need a lot to remove all your makeup, but this is easily my favorite makeup remover to date. The next category is primer. I have been loving the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. It feels a little bit moisturizing, but I just really love how it sinks into the skin and it just fills in all those cracks. And when you put your foundation on, it's just a smooth canvas. It also is a little bit moisturizing as well. So if you have dry skin, it will hydrate the skin a little bit, but it's not its main purpose. It is more so to make your base super smooth, which it does. I also really like to pair my primers depending on how my skin decides it wants to behave that day. So another one that I've been recirculating into the mix is the HelloFab Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. This is the one I'm using today actually, and a lot of the times I will put this over my acne because right here where most of my acne resides, I get flaky skin on top of it. So I will put this on top so that when my foundation goes on top, it doesn't cling as much. But I've had this for a long time. I also wear this alone and it works great. The next product is not necessarily a primer, but it goes under the base, so it's kind of a primer-ish. The Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. So I have the shade Light to Medium. It is this really nice salmon color, and I apply this under my eyes, and it has the slightest reflect to it. It's not glittery, but it has a sheen to it that really helps to brighten the under eyes, and you don't need a lot. It blends out really nicely. I purposely put it over here because I have this blue vein. You can see how it nicely cancels it out. Sometimes I add this under my concealer, or sometimes I add this under my foundation, and then I don't need concealer. And sometimes I will wear only this. If I'm feeling really lazy, I will literally just put this under the eyes, set it it a little bit because cream under my eyes, you know, it can crease, but I'll just lightly set it and that's it. So I've just been playing around with this in different ways, and each time that I use it, it seems to work just fine. Whether I wear it alone or whether I lay on top of it, it works just as great either way. So my next category is my favorite one. It is foundations. A couple of you guys asked me to do a video of my favorite foundations for the summer. All the people that wanted that video, this section is for you guys. So the first foundation I want to talk about is the Urban Decay Stay Naked. This is one of my favorite foundations ever. I love how lightweight it is. If you have oily skin, I am telling you, this is a godsend. It is sweat proof, waterproof, transfer resistant. It lasts such a long time, and even after 10, 11 hours, you will still look matte. There are some foundations where it starts out matte, and then as the day goes on and my oils come through, you can see that it's a little bit dewy, but it's not too bad. You know, like, I will still think it's a good foundation as long as it's not breaking up. But this one will pretty much stay matte the entire day. Because this formula is super runny, I will say that you will have to use more product than normal to get to full coverage. But even then, because it is runny, it feels extremely lightweight. It's great all year round, but it's especially great for the summer. The next one is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream, the matte version. This has SPF 40. Again, amazing coverage. It is nice and matte, and one of those foundations that looks matte pretty much all day long. You know, my problematic area is the center of my face. This will not crack on my chin. It looks super smooth on the nose. It doesn't settle into my fine lines and wrinkles. The fact that it has SPF, and I think it has like antioxidants and stuff. I mean, it's a CC cream, so there's usually skincare infused into it, which is great. By the way, sorry, if you are my skin shade, I believe this is tan, but I wouldn't go tan. I would go below that because this is a little bit too dark for me. And the Urban Decay Stay Naked is 50 WY. That's what I use. The next foundation should be no surprise to you. It is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I have talked about this time and time again, especially a lot this year. This is the underdog to me. I feel like more people should be talking about it. This is the tester because my friend gets PR from them, so all the shades that were too dark for her, she gave to me. The coverage I would say is medium. It's gonna look dewy, glowy, but not greasy, but definitely more natural looking and a lot less matte than the other two that I mentioned. But for people that have oily skin and you think, oh, I can't wear a dewy or luminous or glowy whatever foundation, I can only wear matte because I have oily skin. That is not the case, because this is a testament that you can wear a non-matte foundation and it still will wear beautifully on you. Again, it doesn't settle into my fine lines. It doesn't crack on my chin or just any of my problematic areas. It does well with touch-ups. You can blot and it still looks really good. I would say that out of all the foundations I talk about, I think I use this one the most. Every couple of months I change my vibe, and lately I've been really liking more natural looking finish, so this is really great and long wearing. And the shade that I use for this foundation is 190 Neutral Sandstone. The next foundation is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. The shade that I use is Tan Medium Deep. It is a little bit dark for me, but the shade under it, I think it was medium, is way too light for me and I can't get past it. This has hyaluronic acid and squalene, so there's a little bit of skincare infused in this. This wears amazing. Again, because my personal preference has been a more hydrating natural finish foundation, that's what this finish is. But just like the Essence Pretty Natural, this wears just like a high-end foundation. It doesn't really crack or settle into my problematic areas or really any area after 10 hours. I do want to acknowledge that a couple of you have told me that Wet n Wild is in the gray area of whether or not it is cruelty-free, because as of, I believe, 2019, they decided to sell in mainland China. On their website, they still claim to be cruelty-free, but when you go on Cruelty Free Kitty or other websites that are dedicated to inform you of whether or not a brand is cruelty-free, they all say that this is in the gray area. So I'm including it for now because when I bought this, I really thought that Wet n Wild was cruelty-free, but I just want to let you know that moving forward, because it is in the gray area, I will not be purchasing Wet n Wild until I get the green light that it is for sure cruelty-free. And then the last foundation is the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation. I am going to say it right now that this is the one that I've tried the least, but it's been very consistent. Every single time that I've used it, I'm actually using it today. I'm currently doing a wear test. By the time that this video comes out, that wear test will probably be the last video that I put out, and it is the only powder foundation that I'm going to recommend. The shade that I'm using is Golden Medium. To get the most coverage out of this, I recommend using a puff and then swirling into it. That's how you get the most coverage, but even then, the coverage is not significant. It's more so to balance the skin, which it does a decent job of doing. I mean, if you can even see right now, I mean, I have blush on top of it, but if I didn't have all of this, you will still be able to see the redness. So it doesn't cancel everything out, but it balances like it says. So I would say that at best, the coverage is medium, but that's if you have pretty good skin. If you have skin like, I don't want to say that I have bad skin because I really don't think I have that bad of skin, but if you have skin concerns like me where there is more to cover, it is more of a light medium, but I love how lightweight this is. This wears really nicely. It touches up great. It does really well with a mask. I had to wear one today and there is very minimal transfer. Right now into my wear test, I am at almost the 9-hour mark, and you can see like it still hasn't settled into my fine lines. It is a demi matte finish. It's definitely a your skin but better, way better foundation. Next off, we have bronzers. I mean, not much has changed. My main one that I use is the Morphe mini bronzer in Debutante. I mean, I'm making progress. I'm getting there. But this is the one that I use the most often. And then on my lazy days, I will also take a fluffy brush and I will add it into my eyes as my only color, and that's it. It looks harsh right now, but it blends wonderfully. I'm wearing it right now around the perimeters of my forehead. But another one that I wanted to mention is the Sol Face and Body Bronzing Balm. This is in the shade Medium Dark. I bought this because I thought it would be a dupe for the Chanel cream bronzer, which I never bought anyways because it's crazy expensive, and also Chanel isn't cruelty free. Every time I have this in my hands, I have to smell it. It smells just tropical, vacation, like coconut. The way that I like to apply this is I use this type of brush. I mean, it doesn't have a name on it. It just says 5. Very descriptive. But this is what it looks like from a eagle eye view, and then this is the profile. You can see that it tapers into a point, but I will just take a couple swipes and I add it to my forehead, and then if I add it on my jawline, I like to go a little bit higher because when I blend it out, it does fall down a little bit. It blends beautifully. This looks really dark. I'll just add it right now. Like, oh my God, that looks crazy dark, right? But if you add just a little bit and then you blend it out, it really isn't as bad as you think. And you don't have to blend it out that much. I mean, you can add more and then it'll deepen it up. It doesn't feel super sticky. I mean, you do feel that it's a little bit of a balm. You can set it if you want to, but usually I don't. So you sort of feel it, but it's not like your hair is going to be sticking to it or anything. I saw that e.l.f. came out with putty bronzers and I ordered it. It should be coming tomorrow. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I can do a side-by-side comparison of this bronzer against the putty bronzer, because I'm curious to see which one I would like more because I love e.l.f. putty stuff. The next category is blushes. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blushes. This is 110 Nude Kiss, and then this one is 220 Your Peach, which is this really beautiful coral. This is more like an everyday, and then this one is just like more fun. But even though this looks really bright, if you only add just a little bit of it, it is very wearable. I love how pigmented these are. These blend out wonderfully. To get the best wear time with these, I suggest that you apply these on unset foundation and then lightly set it with translucent powder, because when I didn't set these foundations, it was kind of sticky and tacky feeling, and after a couple hours I could see missing patches of blush. So learn from my mistakes. At the very minimum, you should lightly set this blush. And then another cream blush that I've been really liking is the e.l.f. Putty Blush. This is in Turks and Caicos. I did just do a video comparing these two blushes on which one I prefer, so I will link it up in the cards because that video is probably more in depth than this video. But unlike the Milani cream blushes, you do not have to set this one. Once you apply it on the skin, you can leave it be and it will go from a cream to powder formula. So it's not going to feel sticky or tacky or nothing like that. And it wears pretty well, and it's, you know, it's $6. So it's super affordable. And then the next blush I'm going to talk about is also by e.l.f. This is the Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Rosy. Funnily enough, I also have a video comparing these two. But this has great pigment, great longevity, and the quality is really good. You don't need a lot of the blush to show up, especially on my skin. And it's just a really pretty pink. Please don't make me describe colors to you because I am the worst at that. Whenever I see people describing certain shades, whether they're warm or cool or neutral, I'm always just like, I don't see it. And the same thing, especially with red lipsticks. Whenever someone's like, oh, this red is more like a blue toned red. And I'm like, where do you see the blue? I don't see the blue. Does anyone see the blue? I mean, I can go as far as saying like dark or light red, but if you ask me to describe it even more than that, good luck, because I'm not gonna be able to. And then the last blush I wanna talk about is the Tarte Blush Bliss. Ugh, that is a tongue twister. Blush Bliss Palette. I don't think they sell palettes anymore because they used to have the big palettes, and I wish I got them, but I never did. 3 of them are mattes, and then this one has a little bit of reflect into it. This is the one that I dig into the most. You can see like the pattern is really prominent in all of these, except this one because I dig into it so much. But I always keep this one here at my filming setup because there is a variety in case I wanna go, you know, a little bit more pink or I want a little bit of shimmer. And they last really well on me too. I mean, this is 9 hours going strong. So even though this palette is discontinued, I've tried a lot of Tarte blushes and they are very good quality. So even if you don't get this palette, in general, Tarte blushes are really good. So the next category is highlighters. So the first one I'm going to talk about is by e.l.f. I think this is called Moonstone, Moon something. Everything is going to be linked. You guys know I'm not a huge highlighting fanatic, so this is just subtle enough and the perfect undertone that it's just really perfect for me. You can see it shows up, but it's not super in your face. I mean, it's just the perfect amount. And that's just the swatch. I mean, usually I have it diffused a lot more, so it just hits it so beautifully on my cheeks. I'm not wearing it today because when I do a wear test, I don't add highlighter because I want to see where I get oily, and sometimes highlighter makes it confusing. The color is Blush Gems and it's just perfect on me. I've talked about this so many times and some things never change. I really love this one. And then the next highlighter is the Auric Glowless Radiant Luminizer in the shade Pyrite. I've been really liking to use this either as my base for my foundation or mixed in with my foundation. It's like this really pretty olive undertone. It just makes the skin look super healthy and just that perfect golden hour type of glow. Because this does have a slight tint to it, I thought I could just wear this alone. On me, it just doesn't look right, especially on my upper lip area. It's just too shiny right there. My husband, when he saw me, he was like, "Are you gonna fix your face?" I'm like, what's wrong with my face? He's like, "You're looking real moist." On me, it doesn't look super great alone. It definitely is either a base or something to mix in with, but it is a great product, and whatever you mix it in with, it won't decrease the wear time, which for how much I paid for this, it better not ruin the wear time of any of my foundations. All right, next category is eyeshadows. First one I want to talk about is the BH Cosmetics Hangin' in Hawaii eyeshadow palette. This is the Color Story. I love BH Cosmetics eyeshadows. They are probably my favorite brand for eyeshadows. They are consistent. Every single palette that I've ever gotten from them has been great quality. My favorite palette still to this day is the Ultimate Neutrals palette. Every neutral you could possibly ever think of, when it's on sale, which is on sale very often. I think it's only like 15 bucks and I think there's 42 shades or 40 shades. For the quality that you're getting, I mean, that's super cheap. And this palette is no exception. I mean, oh, look at that. That was one swipe into the pan. So I've been really enjoying this palette, but I'm telling you, if you are looking for a good, affordable, cruelty-free eyeshadow palette, the first place I would look at is BH Cosmetics because they are really consistent. They're more consistent than, say, Morphe or even ColourPop, because sometimes there are certain ColourPop eyeshadow palettes that I don't like. Sometimes they're hit or miss, whereas BH Cosmetics, I never have misses with them. The next palette is the She Glam Beach Sunset eyeshadow palette. It actually looks somewhat similar to my BH Cosmetics one, but this one is like the extended version of this one. This is my first eyeshadow palette that I've tried from them, and it makes me really excited to try more because the quality is really good. Just a little demonstration. Oh yeah. And I forget how much this is, but I think She Glam is known for being relatively affordable as well. So the fact that it's good quality and it's affordable is always a nice bonus. And then the last palettes, I'm just going to bundle them together, are by Sigma. The first one I'm going to talk about, wow, I have a lot of like rosy palettes. This is the Sigma 9-Pan Rosy eyeshadow palette, and then the Sigma Enchanted palette. I'm going to put these side by side just so that you can see which color story is for you. My favorite thing about these palettes is definitely the shimmers. This color, especially Fantasy. Right now you can see it looks pink, at least it does in my viewfinder. And then when you shift it, do you see it turns gold? Pink, gold. And then when you swatch it on your hand, you can see both. It is so pretty, it can be worn alone, but if you just kind of dab it over your eyes, it also is a really nice eyeshadow topper. And there's a dual shift in this one too. It is like a green purple color. This one isn't nearly as opaque as the first one. This is more of a eyeshadow topper, but I really love this color. And of course, the quality of these eyeshadows is great as well. All right, so the next things I want to talk about are not really makeup related. So this category is going to be kind of my catch-all. So the first product I want to talk about is the Lash Grande MD Lash Enhancing Serum. I've been using this for about 3 months at this point. You're not supposed to have it that long, but I'm still getting liquid coming out of this bottle. I really wish I had a before and after. I had no intentions of making a video of this, but I really wish I did so that you could have seen the progress, because my lashes used to be downturned and very short, and now they're medium length and they go up. It wasn't like a slow, gradual growth at all. It was literally one day after continuous use, they were just like poof, long longer. Maybe I just wasn't looking for it, but it just seemed like an overnight thing after I would say 3 weeks of use. But damn it, it actually works. I do see results. So if you're looking for a lash serum, I had very noticeable results with this one. The next thing I want to talk about is scents. I never talk about perfumes or anything on this channel. The one I'm using is actually a cologne. It is by Calvin Klein. It is called Euphoria Men. How do I describe the smell? I'm just as bad at describing smells as I am colors. It just smells like clean to me. Maybe I can look this up. Maybe they already described it so that I don't have to. It says chilled Sadauchi ginger pepper cocktail and raindrop accord poured over crisp cedar leaves, black basil, and sage, warmed with notes of what the fuck? I don't know, man. It just smells nice. It's very long lasting on me. I get compliments all the time whenever I wear this. Is it just me, or do you feel like men's stuff is just so much better than women's stuff sometimes? I feel that way about their colognes or like their shampoos, their deodorants. They just seem to last longer on me, but I've been really liking the scent. And speaking of scents, I wanted to talk about this candle. I know it's very random. This is my catch-all category. This is probably my favorite brand. Every single time I go grocery shopping, I really like Tuscany, especially for how much you get. You get 14 ounces. The full price of this jar, I think, is like $11. Those Yankee candles that I always get, they're at least $26, and that's not on sale. But this full price is $11. It's so much cheaper. My favorite scent is eucalyptus mint, and these are my favorite candles. Every single time I get a candle, I always get something with either eucalyptus, 90% of the time, something with eucalyptus. If I'm gonna go outside of eucalyptus, it's either gonna be like a lemon or a citrus or something clean. Like I like clean linen, something that smells like you cleaned the house. I do not like fruity smells, baking smells, fall smells. When I open them, they smell nice, but if they fill up a room and it just becomes really overpowering and I get this headache, There's another one by Tuscany called Eucalyptus Rain, and that one's really nice as well. They basically smell the same, but they're different to me.
Same, but different. But still same.
So if you're ever getting someone a gift and you're like, I don't know what they like, so I'm gonna go with a candle, get this one, because this one smells amazing. Because I feel like in general, candles are just like a really safe gift to give anyone. Okay, one more for the road. Oh my God, I'm gonna light this shit up as soon as I get upstairs. The next thing I wanna talk about is my bag. It is very rare for me to get a new bag. Whenever I do get one, I stick with it for at least 3 or 4 years. I'm quite picky with my bags because I want something that always matches with whatever I'm wearing. But this is my current flavor of the month. This one is by Teddy Blake. I really love how big this is. There's lots of room here for, what is in my bag? This just turned into a what's in my bag video. I have a mask and then a pen and then a wallet, and that's it. And sometimes I have a Belvita bar in there as well, but not anymore. I ate the last one. But the leather on this is really great quality. It feels awesome. And then these are the small handles, but I usually wear it with this big strap right here. I do want to go ahead and thank them because they did send me this bag, but I assure you, if I didn't like this bag, I have plenty of other bags that I could easily have used instead, and then I would have just sent this one back. Luckily, that is not the case. I love this bag. I love the quality and the style of it as well. When I got this bag, I felt like Donna from Parks and Rec. The part when she's like, fine leather goods, treat yourself. It's the best day of the year. And then the last favorite item, my sleeping mask. I know that seems super random, but the way I thought about it was you need the sleeping mask to get beauty sleep. So it's a stretch, but sure, why not? I have been through a lot of sleeping masks, and actually Steve has been through more sleeping masks than me because he has to sleep with a sleeping mask, but whereas I sleep with it maybe 2/3 of the time. I got this on Amazon. I always have to have an adjustable headpiece because as this stretches over time, I have to tighten it so that it stays tight on my head so that it doesn't slip off in the middle of the night. The fabric of this is really nice, super soft and very breathable, but my favorite part is the nose part because if you can see right now, this is a wire. Like if I bent this, you see, I can bend it or I can smooth it out. And when I bend it onto my nose, when I'm sleeping, I don't see the light from the TV. It is completely black. I know that seems weird. Like, why don't you just turn off the TV? Ask my husband because he has to sleep with the TV. I would love to sleep without it, but for some reason he says we have to sleep with a TV. He likes the noise, but obviously I don't like the light, even though the light is at the dimmest setting. So having this wire right here to pinch my nose so that no light gets through whatsoever has been amazing. So those are all my current favorite products, and now I'm moving on to products that I really just do not like and do not recommend. Do not waste your money. So the first product I'm going to talk about is the Mad Hippie Advanced Skin Cleansing Oil. It is down to here, so I used up all of it. I know it seems weird, like how can you hate a product and yet you still used basically the entire thing. Once I spend my money on something, even if I hate it, I will still continue to use it to get my money's worth because I feel like I can't let them win. I don't know. It's just a weird mental thing. This is an oil, and the problem I have with this is once you get it into the face. First of all, you have to use at least 4 or 5 pumps, and this is a small bottle to get all of this makeup off my face. Once I'm rubbing it in, I feel like I have to do a lot of work to get it to come off, whereas the other balm that I was telling you about, the one by Pharmacy, it does the work for me. Once it just starts melting, it just glides by itself basically, and the makeup removal process is just so much more pleasant. And on top of that, I have to get another product to remove this product, which is super annoying. With the Pharmacy one, if I want to use that and only that, that's okay, whereas this one leaves such a weird oily residue and it's like sticky and weird, and I end up using more cleanser than I normally would just to remove this product. And it also doesn't remove my makeup that well. Do not get this one. I'm not a fan of this one at all. And then the last product I'm going to talk about is by The Ordinary. It is the Mineral UV Filters SPF 30 with antioxidants. It gives really intense white cast, and as you blend it, it's like purple. You can see side by side just how much more white this looks. One time I wore this alone and then I went on a walk, and then my husband looked at me and he's like, I can't even talk to you. Like, I can't not get past your face. It just looks so white and weird. Like the demarcation between my neck in comparison to my face, like he couldn't get past it. Definitely do not recommend this one. But that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful, insightful, or at least entertaining. And if it was, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would love to see you come back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.